It is unacceptable to remain a mindless consumer in 2024. It's time to change, my friend. The thoughts that emerge from our minds literally mirror the information that enters them. And I don't doubt that you know that, but just how seriously are you taking it, mate? If you're a young man and you literally feel worthless and like you're not actually progressing forwards with your life, I can almost guarantee you that it's because you're constantly absorbing absolute bullshit content and information, and not just from your phone. It's worse than that, probably. Being a mindless consumer comes in many forms, so in this video I'm going to be explaining exactly what I mean by that, and I can assure you it's probably not what you think. Okay, so here we are. As I was saying, my friend, consuming information can come from many different forms, and it's not just from your mobile phone, which is probably contrary to what you believe, because consumption can come from music. It can come from the lyrics that you listen to on a daily basis. When you're hearing the words from your favourite artist or whoever it may be who's ever trending or whatever you listen to, the lyrics that are inserting into your brain instantly go to your subconscious mind, and this can have a real impact on the way that we kind of go about our lives, and it can have an impact on the way that we feel, because it impacts the way that we think, and of course the way that we think impacts the way that we feel, so it all has a direct correlation. The same thing happens with the TV series that you watch. So obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is Netflix or Amazon Prime or Disney Plus or whatever TV series you might be watching on these programs. I mean, I'm not judging, but either way, my friend, when you're doing this, you know, similar with the music, the stuff you're watching has a direct impact on the way you feel. If you're watching something that has a negative storyline, this can obviously impact your life. The same thing with adverts, the same thing with the news, you know, and you can't escape these things because you listen to the radio, maybe you're driving your car in the morning to work, you listen to these things and it enters your subconscious mind, like without even you having to think about it. As I was saying, these things have a direct correlation on the way that you feel. So it's important that you are very mindful of the things that you are consuming. And this one right here, which of course is people, which is probably something you might not have expected me to say, because when you're constantly spending time with people and you're listening to them talk and you're taking in the information that they're saying, there's a very high chance that you are also going to start to believe the things that they're saying. If they constantly feed negativity into your head, and they're constantly a negative person to be around, that's going to have a direct correlation on the way that you are and the way that you live your life. And there's a very famous saying, you've probably heard it before, it's very common: you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with the most. I personally believe that's probably one of the most true quotes I've ever heard in my life. You literally are. So choose these people wisely. The same thing that you could say your mobile phone. Your mobile phone could be seen as one of these people that you hang around with most. So you have to be very certain that the things you're absorbing and the information you're putting into your brain is providing you with a positive outlook on life and providing you with goodness. And regarding the statement of you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with the most, I can tell you from my first-hand experience that that is very true, okay? If I carried on listening to the people around me when I was 14 years old, you know, this was me when I was a young little boy, you know, as you can see, I'm eating some delicious Fruit Loops, delicious for the taste buds, not so much for the gut biome. Very, very bad, full of sugars. You know, that can lead to so many terrible things for you. Diabetes, heart issues, and it's just not the sort of thing you want to be putting into your body, but we're obviously led to believe, we're told these are healthy for us. They have vitamin this, vitamin that, and actually it's just pure terrible for you, you know? This was me also at 14 years old, you know? Skinny little noodle arms, very unconfident little fellow, you know? Times have changed because I stopped hanging around and I stopped consuming information from these sources, and I started to make up my own decisions and use my own brain. So I wouldn't be the person I am today if I was doing these things, you know? There's no way I ever would have jumped in the ring. I never would have had any boxing fights because I was too afraid. I had fear. People told me don't do this. The information I was consuming online told me don't do that. It's, you know, risky for this, risky for that. And that turned out to be one of the best things I've ever done in my life. Getting in the ring, it's given me so much confidence. The fear level that I had no longer exists. You know, I feel unstoppable. I never would have started my own business. I never would have worked hard on this because I didn't believe in myself. Why would I have ever believed in myself when people are constantly telling me and the information that I'm consuming online is constantly telling me that I'm not worth it, I haven't got the skills, I don't have the ability. Society pushes you to get a normal job, whatever that is. I mean, I think you and I probably both have a similar idea of what a normal job is. It's a 9 to 5 where you're working for somebody else and you're essentially earning, you know, not the greatest of wages, and you're working 50 hours a week and you have, like, you know, 4 weeks off a year. To me, that just sounds terrible. excuse me, you know, I wouldn't have been making YouTube videos like this because, once again, I didn't have the confidence. Maybe I didn't think I was good enough, and I was too shy of what people thought of me. I had people's opinions of me in my brain, and I wouldn't have been eating healthy food because, you know, I would have thought it was okay to eat the stuff that's in the supermarket just because it's in the supermarket. I thought, well, surely if it's in the supermarket, it's got to be healthy for you. Well, no. I mean, 95% of the ingredients that are involved in supermarket products are absolutely terrible for you. You know, they affect your gut all the way to your brain because obviously everything's connected. I'll give you one example. If you go into the supermarket and you see the bread that's on offer, if you have a look at the ingredients that's on bread, it's absolutely ridiculous, to tell you the truth. It's unbelievable. You know, you'll find some products, some bread products that have over 50 ingredients, and that's absurd, absolutely absurd, because bread should only have like 3 or 4 ingredients. A real loaf of bread, and that loaf of bread is healthy for you. That's hearty, that's nutritious, because that's real bread. And if you want to learn more about this, I've actually made a diet plan that you can get for free, and this is going to help you to improve so many different things, from your internal physique, that being your organs, that being your gut, all the way up to your brain, and of course it's going to have a direct impact on your external body. It's going to make you look great, it's going to increase your muscle mass. If you want that, you can get it from the description, and of course it's free. But yeah, so if I continued absorbing information from the negative influences in my life, because all of those things that I mentioned at the top are negative influences, this would be me. You know, I'd be drinking alcohol every weekend and wasting my life away and aiming for an average life, which is exactly what I used to be doing. This was me, of course. This literally was me. Me and you don't want to live like this, bro. We don't want that. You know, we want to do more with our lives. We want to make our parents proud, don't we? We want to be in the top 1%. We don't want to be the bottom of the barrel. This is how I like to explain it, okay? Our brains are like sponges. Imagine you've got a sponge in this hand and you've got a jug of water in this hand, okay? This is your brain. This jug of water is like energy. So imagine you're going to pour this jug of water onto the sponge, okay? Onto your brain. You're pouring the energy onto your brain. What's going to happen is the brain is going to absorb all of this energy, and it's going to eventually overflow. So if this energy that you're pouring into the sponge is negative, in other words, if you're receiving negative information from other people, eventually when you overflow with water, you're going to start to emit, you're going to give out negative energy and negative vibes to the rest of the world. You're going to be angry, you're going to be jealous, you're going to be depressed, you're going to be feeling like shit, and you're going to spread this to everybody else. Whereas if you're receiving positive information into your brain and you're receiving positive energy, you're going to be this bundle of joy, aren't you? You're going to feel great. You're going to emit positivity. You're going to be productive. You're going to be energized and focused. And that's what we want to achieve, isn't it? So that's what you have to think. You have to be very mindful, okay? And that's why it's important, okay? You have to be mindful. But it's not just about being mindful, okay? Because nowadays, that's not enough. Our brains have conditioned themselves to having such short attention spans that what you really need to be doing is taking action, okay? And this is the most important thing, because taking action is what's going to form you habits. And when you start to have these habits, that's when your mindset will eventually start to naturally make the thoughts that you really want to have. Okay, so when I say taking action, you need to stop seeing friends that don't make you feel positive and inspired after being with them. Okay, and I say friends, that's what I really mean, because when you have a great relationship with like-minded men, you should come away and you should come home and you should be feeling enlightened and you should be feeling fueled and motivated to be better and to do better. It's not harsh to do this. That's what a lot of people think. It's absolutely not harsh, okay? You need to put yourself first, and it's not selfish to put yourself first, because if you fill up your cup first before you start filling up other people's cups, that's the only way you're actually going to provide and be supportive to the people around you. So you need to put yourself first. Another thing you can do is you can download apps on your phone. I've recently downloaded an app on my phone. My phone's over there. But I'll just explain it to you briefly. So this app on my phone is basically a minimalistic app, and it's changed the whole interface of my mobile device. So now, instead of seeing all of the applications on my phone, I only see the text. So if I wanted to find YouTube, for example, I would literally just have to scroll and find YouTube that's written in text. And if I wanted to find WhatsApp, I would scroll up a little bit until I found the apps beginning with W, and I'd find WhatsApp. The whole kind of reasoning behind this is that when you go onto your phone and you see all the different colours, you get distracted, and this can cause so many problems, because by the time you know it, you've gone on your phone to find YouTube, but before you found YouTube, you found TikTok, you found Facebook, you found all these different apps because of the colours, and you've wasted a whole hour of your day which has completely distracted you from your mission. Okay, so this is something I would seriously suggest that you do. By the way, just in case you wanted to know what the app's called, it's called Minimalist Phone. Obviously I'm not sponsored or anything, but there's probably loads of other apps that do it, but this one just works for me. Another way you can take action: delete that Netflix contract. That's the only way you're actually going to stop yourself from being tempted to watch something. You've got to take action on these things, my friend, you know? It's 2024. You wonder why you feel worthless, don't you? You wonder why you feel depressed, why you feel sad. It's because you're not achieving your potential. And all of these distractions are the main reason why you're not achieving your potential, okay? Because if you didn't have these distractions in the first place, if you didn't have these negative influences in the first place, then you'd probably just be so bored that you'd start actually working on things and you'd start enjoying doing the hard work. And that's what happened to me. So I know it works. I know it works. If you don't take action on things like this, you'll end up slipping into your old ways very easily. That's why you have to take initiative and delete these things out of your life. I'm not telling you to live like a monk, because I don't want to live like a monk. I'm sure you don't want to live like a monk. We want to enjoy ourselves sometimes. In my opinion, the goal is to be disciplined 95% of the time. Okay? That means to live a life of sacrifice and reward. That means for 95% of the time you work hard and then you earn the fruits of your labour in that other 5%. And then you can live a life on a repeat like that, because the reward will be so much juicier, so much tastier, because you've worked for it. Okay? And then after you've worked for it and after you've enjoyed that fruit, then you'll be ready to start sacrificing again, and you can kind of get yourself into this cycle. And that's pretty much it, my friend. Okay? Use your time wisely. It's the most valuable currency in the world. It just is. There's nothing more valuable than your time. Work on yourself and believe you can. You're more than halfway there. Don't forget to get the free diet plan from my description.